Before today's video starts, I would just like to remind all of you that this video is not made for kids. It's for adults to enjoy too. So with that said, Merry Christmas, and please enjoy the fucking video. What's up guys, Liam Fitzgerald back again. And happy holidays! Wait a minute! This doesn't feel right for December. Hold on one second while I change things up around here. Ah, that's much better. Way more festive. Anyway, December is upon us once again, which means that Christmas is coming. I just love this time of year. Showing positivity to others, exchanging gifts, advent calendars, and especially being with friends and family. But I also love watching Christmas movies and episodes from all my favorite shows and cartoons, which is a tradition I do every year. Some examples include Happy Christmas from the Teletubbies and Teletubbies in the Snow, SpongeBob Christmas Who, the first 3 Christmas episodes of Thomas and Friends, the Powerpuff Girls and Ed, Edd n Eddy Christmas specials, the Muppets Christmas Carol, the Polar Express, Home Alone, Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas, The Grinch, and so much more. So, since we're all counting down to Christmas, I've got a special treat for you all. Throughout December, you're going to be getting 4 festive reviews from yours truly. If you saw my community tab announcement, I'm sure you're all aware that they're all Bob the Builder related and what those chosen episodes are. And as much as I would love to do a review of A Christmas to Remember, I still don't feel ready to do reviews of movies yet. But my good friend Heartcloud Productions will be reviewing this movie soon on her channel, so stay tuned to see it. So, enough rambling with this introduction, and let's begin my first December review with the Season 5 episode, Bob and the Big Freeze. Let's get into it. Also, try not to get too cold with this review. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Bob and the Big Freeze is the 12th episode of Season 5. A heavy blanket of snow has fallen over Bobsville, to which Dizzy is thrilled about. However, plans are put on hold when Bob says he needs to head up to Farmer Pickles to cut up some trees for firewood, while Wendy says that Scoop is needed to clear the roads with his snowplow. When Bob arrives at Farmer Pickles, he asks Dizzy to keep an eye on Scruffy while he cuts the trees. Scruffy and Dizzy race off down towards a frozen pond, where Spud begins to skate on the ice, until he eventually falls over as the ice begins to break. While Dizzy rushes off to find Bob, Scoop and Wendy hit something that is buried in the snow, which Wendy decides to dig out. Meanwhile, Dizzy alerts Bob about Spud's dilemma and rushes off with Lofty to rescue him. Then Bob tells Spud to never skate on a frozen pond due to the ice not supporting his weight. Suddenly, Bob and Dizzy notice some ducks and birds struggling to find food, which gives Bob an idea. Back with Wendy and Scoop, they finish digging up the object buried in the snow, which is revealed to be the hedgehog crossing that Bob built back in Season 1. They also find a family of hedgehogs who are hibernating in the tunnel. Scoop and Wendy take the hedgehogs back to the yard, where Wendy and Bob exchange their encounters with the animals. While Scoop, Wendy and Lofty finish off their jobs, Bob creates a bird table for the birds and a shelter for the hedgehogs to sleep in, ending the episode on a positive note. Well, everyone that is except Pilchard. This episode really shows the negatives of snow, doesn't it? Truth be told, I don't have a lot to say about Bob and the Big Freeze. I do like the episode, but it's kinda hard for me to express my true thoughts on this episode, so I'm gonna try my best. Let's start off with the story itself. For me, Season 5 is one of my top favourite seasons of the classic era. It had a load of great stories such as Skateboard Spud, Clumsy Rolly, and Wendy's Surprise Party. But Bob and the Big Freeze had such an interesting plot. Not only does it teach the negatives of skating on thin ice, as we see with Spud, but it also shows the difficulties animals encounter with snow, such as finding food and finding shelter to sleep in. That's a big reason why I praise this episode for its caring of animals and raising awareness of ice. I also like that the plot is broken into 3 arcs, with the first being Dizzy enjoying the snow, Spud getting in danger within the ice, and Bob and Wendy helping the animals be happy. This episode is quite similar to a selection of episodes from other hit entertainment shows, such as The Big Freeze from Kipper the Dog, Toby Had a Little Lamb, and, again, The Big Freeze from Thomas and Friends, and even other episodes of Bob such as Snowman Scoop and Zoomer's Snowy Adventure. Hit Entertainment must have really enjoyed creating episodes about winter. I'm not complaining though, I love them. Now let's talk about the characters. Of course, I'm going to mention Dizzy first since she had the first arc of the episode. I always adore seeing Dizzy's love for snow. It's so wholesome to see. I also like how she tries to be the voice of reason when Spud is doing something he shouldn't, and then raises the alarm when he does get in trouble. And then her caring side is expressed when she sees the ducks struggling with the snow. Dizzy really does a lot in this episode, but I love that she does. She is a great character after all. Bob and Wendy are also big characters in this episode, since Bob's perspective is rescuing Spud and helping the ducks, while Wendy's arc is finding the hedgehogs and finding warmth for them. And then both of their arcs are brought together in the end when everything is resolved for the animals. Spud, however, is shown to be a secondary character, and of course, his character is completely spot on, being careless and landing in trouble. But during the scene when Bob tells Spud off for his behaviour, Spud sounds like he's about to cry, yet Bob, while stern, sounds more concerned. Listen to this scene and see what you think.
Spud, you should never go out on a frozen pond. The ice might not support your weight.
Yes, Bob. No, Bob. Sorry, Bob.
Maybe Spud was just in shock after what happened to him. Ugh, poor guy. I first saw this episode through a Christmas Children's Favourites DVD, and this episode was always one of my favourites to watch. Why Bob's White Christmas wasn't on this DVD is beyond me. Something you might find strange was that I used to think that this episode was just a retelling of the season 1 episode, Bob Saves the Hedgehogs, but just have it take place in winter. Yeah. Don't ask me why I thought that, since I can clearly see that it's not. While I've expressed in past reviews that I love the inclusion of gags, this episode didn't really have a lot of them, which I can understand since this episode was written to be both educational and heartwarming. But at least it did include one gag at the end with Pilchard. That poor cat can never catch a break, can she? Also, did no one notice that Muck didn't say a word in this episode? Yeah, he just cameoed. Kinda strange, honestly. And that, my friends, is all my thoughts on Bob and the Big Freeze. A heartwarming episode, entertaining characters within their arcs, and very educational on the negatives of winter. Truly satisfied that I was able to express all my thoughts on this episode. So, I'm going to give Bob and the Big Freeze a 7 out of 10. What about you guys? Do you like Bob and the Big Freeze? And do you think it did a good job showing the negatives of winter? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. I thank you guys so much for watching the first of my December reviews. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you all next time when we'll take a look at the Season 7 episode, Snowman Scoop. Now if you don't mind, I'm off to get myself warmed up. I'm Liam Fitzgerald, and I'll see you all next time. So, enough rambling with this introduction. Introduction? Wow, what a balls up. Cut!